I'm back with more early Black Friday eShop deals. Yes, instead of waiting on that big sale that happens later this week, more publishers have said to themselves, well, why not now? And hey, I'm totally cool with that, especially since there's lots of sweet discounts. Let's dive into the deals. One of the best indie RPGs, as well as one of the best RPGs on the system period, is the wonderful Sea of Stars from Sabotage Studio. It has some excellent gameplay, great pixel graphics, and an endless amount of charm. This is a fantastic little game, and one you should most certainly check out if you're a fan of RPGs. Or at the very least, you should definitely check out that free demo. Just in time for Black Friday, this game gets a nice size discount, knocking it down to a brand new low price. It's going for just $23.44, basically 33% off the MSRP price, until November 23rd. One of the more insane and crazy beat 'em up games is on sale this week, and that game is Jitsu Squad. Its gameplay is different from other beat 'em up games. Most of the moves and inputs are similar to the ones you can find in fighting games, and they can all be chained together for huge combos. In addition, players can tag out to other characters at any time, kinda like the Capcom vs. series of games. It's pretty unique for a beat 'em up game for sure, and those who master the gameplay can do some pretty wicked stuff to enemies and bosses alike. There's 4 characters to choose from, each unique in their gameplay style. In addition, this game supports local co-op play, where up to 4 players can team up for even more chaos. This is a blast to play, it's filled with lots of non-stop action, and it has a killer soundtrack too. This game is a must for beat 'em up fans. It's on sale at a brand new low price of $11.99 on the eShop. In Games seems to have marked a bunch of their classic games down to a new low price of just $1.99 each. This is good news for us gamers. Means we can really clean up here for just a few dollars. Cotton 100%, the only Super Famicom / Super NES game in the series, is a fun horizontal shoot 'em up. Lots of the series elements are here, including lots of fantasy monsters, magic use, and plenty of tea and willow candy for Cotton to collect. It's a solid game in the series, and a good purchase for shoot 'em up fans for just $2. Panorama Cotton is the first game in the Cotton series that shook the gameplay formula up. Instead of being a horizontal shooter, like most games in the series, it is now a rail shooter, kinda like the Space Harrier games. That said, all the series elements are still here though, including that magic system. This is a pretty unique feeling shoot 'em up, and it's one that's actually one of the more impressive ones when you consider that this was playable on the old Sega Genesis. Clockwork Aquario was a game I reviewed a while back that's pretty noteworthy, as it was intended for release in the arcades back in the day, but development stopped and it seemed like a game that was lost to time. That is until many years later, when a passionate team uncovered some code and documents for the game, and somehow, someway, managed to actually complete it almost 3 decades later. This game is a really fun action platformer. It's a fun arcade game with lots of old school arcade Sega vibes and some terrific big looking sprites. If you like arcade games, this is a no-brainer for $2. Finally, Ultracore is a run-and-gun game that was also set to be released back in the day for a bunch of consoles like the Super Nintendo and Sega Genesis. But for whatever reason, that didn't come to fruition. It's a shame too, because this game is actually pretty cool. Luckily though, we can now easily play this game, as it was released for modern platforms. If you like run-and-gun games, especially the Euro-style shooters like Turrican, then this one is one you should definitely check out. Ninja JaJaMaru, the Great Yokai Battle plus Hell Deluxe Edition, is one awesome combo for arcade and retro game fans. As not only do you get a pretty awesome new arcade style game, but you also get a bunch of nice classic games from the Ninja JaJaMaru series in a collection as well. The first part of the package, Ninja JaJaMaru, the Great Yokai Battle, is a great game. It's a modern interpretation of the first Famicom game basically, where you're tasked with defeating all the enemies on the screen. You have to dodge, jump, and shoot your way to score as many points as you possibly can as you clear the boards. There's lots of unlockables to earn in this one, tons of characters to play as, loads of secrets to find in the stages, and the co-op play is pretty sweet too. The other half of the collection contains the Ninja JaJaMaru Retro Collection, which has 5 games from the series, including the first Famicom game, as well as the underrated Game Boy game, and it even includes the super sweet hidden gem, Super Ninja Kid. The whole bundle is just $2.99. That is an insane deal. It's a new low price for it for sure, yeah, but holy cow, just $3 for all these games. It is a must get. If you like arcade games, retro games, all that stuff, then do not sleep on this deal. In addition to that, there's one more collection that's sold separately. That's the Ninja JaJaMaru, the Lost RPGs collection. This contains 2 fully translated NES RPGs in the series. One that's more of a Dragon Quest style game, and another one that's more of an action RPG game. This collection is only $2.59 via the latest sale. About a couple weeks ago, I reviewed the Irem Collection Volume 2 on Switch. If you haven't checked out that video yet, do make sure to do so. I'll have a link down below for you to check out later. At the very least, you'll get to see what the team behind the Metal Slug games did before they made that famous series. Anyway, if you want to pick up the first collection, the Irem Collection Volume 1, then now is a good time I suppose to do so, since it's 50% off the MSRP price. This collection is basically an Image Fight collection. It has the first Image Fight shoot 'em up with the arcade, NES, and TurboGrafx versions all included, as well as the TurboGrafx release of Image Fight 2 and the arcade release of X Multiply, which is a spin-off of the Image Fight series. All 3 are pretty noteworthy games in the Irem catalog, and ones that shoot 'em up fans should be quite familiar with. The Space Invaders Forever collection has 3 of the more modern entries in the Space Invaders series. It has the excellent Space Invaders Extreme. This is a game I originally played on the PSP, and I loved that game to death, but here in the collection, we get a nice HD-fied version of the game. Basically a little bit of a HD remaster. Also included is the Space Invaders Gigamax 4 SE, which is a game that is a perfect fit for multiplayer sessions, as up to 4 players can team up to shoot down the invaders. There's tons of new twists on the classic formula in this one, but lots of neat gimmicks to shake things up. Finally, the collection includes Arkanoid vs. Space Invaders, a mashup of 2 of Taito's most well-known and loved franchises. This game includes over 150 stages to tackle, as you command the Arkanoid paddle to shoot down those pesky invaders. The collection is down to a new low price of just $5.99. This is a pretty good deal for 3 fun games. Hell, it's worth it for Space Invaders Extreme alone. Now if you want to get these games, plus a bunch of the early Space Invaders arcade games, you get it all in the Space Invaders Invincible collection. This collection includes multiple versions of the original Space Invaders game, as well as Majestic 12, the Space Invaders Part 4 arcade game, Super Space Invaders 91, Space Invaders DX, and other related games like Space Cyclone and Lunar Rescue. Plus, of course, like I said, it has the 3 games from the Space Invaders Forever collection. This collection is on sale for $17.99. Now to be fair, I'm not nearly as passionate about the older games. I really just kinda like the newer stuff. So if you're like me and are in the same boat, then I'd say just opt for the much cheaper Forever collection. There is, though, one game that did catch my eye from the Core Tecmo deals, and that's the anime fighting game, Fairy Tail. This one is finally on sale for under $20 after all this time. If you're a fan of the manga series, or the anime, and have been eyeing this one and been waiting for a good discount, then here you go. This one seems like a pretty fun anime fighting game. Publisher Indie Creates is one of my favorite publishers. They just seem to have a knack for creating fantastic action games. If you like games like Castlevania, or the Mega Man games, or even the 2D Metroid games, then you should check out what they have on offer. They put out some high quality stuff. For the month of November, they have a huge sale going on, and for this video, I've picked out a few highlights from that sale. The first one up, Gal Guardians Demon Purge, is a game that should be a treat for those who love the Metroidvania-style Castlevania games. In Gal Guardians, players take control of the two demon hunter sisters as they hack and slash their way through the demonic castle. The two sisters play very differently from each other. One is a very in-your-face melee type of fighter, while the other one prefers to attack from a distance. You'll have to master using both of these sisters, because depending on the situation, one is more useful than the other. You can also play this game in local co-op too, where each player controls one of the sisters at the same time. It's a fun Metroidvania, one of the better Castlevania-inspired games out there, and it's totally worth checking out at the new low price of just $12.49 via the latest sale. YOHANE, the PARHELION, Blaze in the Deep Blue is the other YOHANE game you can find on Switch. You might remember me talking about Namazu in the Mirage last month. Well, unlike being a card-based RPG like that game is, this one is entirely different. This is an action platformer, a Metroidvania. Now there's a couple of things neat about this one. The dungeon's layout will change each time you enter. Though to be honest, a lot of Metroidvanias do that though. The second thing, which is way more unique, is that this game has a crafting system that allows you to make new spells, items, equipment, and more. I mean, we have seen crafting in plenty of games, yeah, but I think this is the first time I've ever seen such a thing in a Metroidvania game. I checked out the demo for this one on the eShop. This one seems fun from what I played, and judging by the reviews, it seems players really like this one. So yeah, if you're hungry for a Metroidvania with a twist, then check this game out. It's on sale for a brand new low price of $17.99 via the latest sale. Azure Striker Gunvolt 3 is the latest game in the Gunvolt series. Just like the other games in the series, this is an action platformer that will remind you a bit of the Mega Man games, particularly the X series and the Zero series. The series lead, Gunvolt, returns in this one, but this time you're also able to play as a new character, Kieran, and you're able to switch between the two characters on the fly. Gunvolt has access to various lightning powers, which are really cool, and Kieran attacks with a sword. He kinda reminds me a little bit of Zero from the Mega Man games. In addition to controlling the two characters, you'll be able to collect things called image pulses, which will allow you to summon characters to assist you as well as grant you powers to aid in your quest. The Gunvolt series has been rock solid in the fun department, and the third entry in the main series continues that trend. Azure Striker Gunvolt 3 is on sale for $14.99, and trust me, it is worth every penny and then some. The Gunvolt Chronicles series is a spin-off of the main Gunvolt series. The second game in this spin-off series, Gunvolt Chronicles Luminous Avenger X2, is a real treat as you play as the character Copen and tear through enemies at breakneck speed with their weapons and shift abilities. Think of this one as something like the Mega Man games in terms of gameplay, just on crack this time around. It's a freaking insane game. Just like the other Gunvolt games, like I said before, don't be afraid to jump in on this one if it's your first. They are all awesome games. This one is on sale for a new low price of $11.24. In this game, Umbraclaw, you play as a cat who has died and finds herself in the Soul Plane, a realm of the dead. She then goes on a quest to return to her home and to her owner and somehow get her life back. This action platformer is a bit of a Metroidvania light. It's not as nearly explore heavy or backtrack heavy as other games in the genre for sure. But that said, this one definitely has something that I haven't seen really done much before. That is, when you die in this game, it's not game over. Nope, in fact, you actually get stronger. The more you die, the more powerful you get, and you'll gain access to new skills and abilities. Now, as easy as it sounds, to constantly die and then to power up, it's not that simple. So you will get different endings based on your actions and choices, and those endings are also dependent on how many times you've died. So you actually gotta be careful. If you die too much, well, you can actually get a bad ending. This is a game where you gotta find a balance between life and death, as funny as that might sound. Definitely check the free demo on the eShop out first to see if you like it, and if you do, then feel free to pick it up at its new lowest price on the eShop. It's going for $16.24 until November 25th. Developer and publisher WayForward has finally put their beat-em-up series, River City Girls, back on sale. These are some awesome co-op beat-em-up games based on the Kunio-kun franchise that have a lot of fun gameplay, as well as a lot of humor throughout them too. Apparently the wait for a sale was worth it because we get new low prices for the majority of the games with this latest sale. The bundle, which contains River City Girls 1 and 2, as well as 0, is on sale for $37.49, marking the first time the bundle has ever been 50% off. You'll get the excellent first game, the much bigger sequel, and the localized Super NES game that we never got back in the day. If you need the games separate, that's fine too. The first one is on sale for $14.99, and I'd start there if you're new to the series. And the second one is on sale for $19.99, and that's a new low price for that. Finally, River City Girls 0 is on sale for $7.49. This is a new low price for that too. Now, like I said early on in the video, the big Black Friday sale proper will happen later this week, so make sure to stay tuned and that you're subscribed so you don't miss out on any of my coverage for that. In the meantime, here's one last look at some deals that are set to expire in the upcoming days. The Night Witch is an interesting mashup of genres. Basically, it's a bullet hell shoot 'em up meets Metroidvania, but it also throws in deck building into the mix. You can customize the witch to suit your own playstyle by building a deck of cards that allows you to use spells as you blast your way through foes and explore. And honestly, works out a lot better than I thought it would. That said though, this game is tough. It's very hard, especially in the late game. So this is only one I would recommend to those who are experienced with the bullet hell genre. If you are though, then I say give this one a shot. It's charming, and adding deck building and Metroidvania elements into the mix helps to make this one very unique. Also, this is incredibly cheap right now. It's on sale for a brand new low price of just $3.99 on the eShop until November 27th. The 2019 game, Samurai Showdown, is an impressive fighting game. A reboot of the series, this game boasts some impressive looking visuals, as well as some excellent depth to its mechanics that fighting game fans will love. The Raids gauge returns for this entry, which is a gauge that fills upon receiving damage. When this gauge is full, a player can activate Raids mode, which will increase a character's strength, as well as allows for a chance to deal massive damage to the opposing character. Each character has a special move too that can also deal massive damage. However, it can only be attempted once per match, so if it's blocked, or if you miss, well, tough luck, you cannot attempt it again in the match. In addition, bloody moves return, allowing players to finish off opponents in something similar to a fatality move. The Switch version, while it does take an obvious visual hit, it still looks good regardless, and the performance is pretty good too. For the longest time, this game was a rarity in terms of sales. It's only received a sale on the eShop about twice before over the years, but it's finally back with a good sized discount, one that I would recommend not to sleep on. The game is down to just $7.99 on the eShop currently. The Deluxe Edition, which includes the first character season pass, is just $1 more, so I'd recommend getting that version if you want to pick this up. Speaking of season passes, all 3 season character passes are on sale for a brand new low price too. They are just $4.99 each, so if you've been waiting on the DLC, now's a good time to pick that up as well. Being the fact that this rarely goes on sale, and the discount is so huge, if you are interested and you like fighting games, even just casually, then do not sleep on this deal. Marvelous has a sale going on for the majority of the Rune Factory and Story of Season games on Switch, where just about everyone is going for brand new low prices. Rune Factory 4 Special, my personal favorite game in the series, is on sale for just $8.99, a freaking steal. Enhanced version of the classic 3DS game, Rune Factory 4 Special, has a lot of nice quality of life changes that makes this version the best way to play the game. A combination of farm sim in a fantasy setting with action RPG gameplay might sound weird at first, but trust me, it's great. And to this date, it's largely considered by fans to be the best game ever released in the series. After the success of putting out the enhanced version of Rune Factory 4, Marvelous decided to give Rune Factory 3 the same treatment. Another solid game in the series, the enhanced version has a lot of nice quality of life changes as well as a bunch of fixes to make this version the best way to play the game. This is on sale for just $15.99. Unlike an overhead 2D or isometric view that most of the Rune Factory or Story of Seasons games have, Rune Factory 5 is a fully 3D game. It's the first 3D Rune Factory game since Tides of Destiny and the first one in the numbered series. Because of the switch to 3D, it certainly does feel a bit fresh and different from many of the other games in the genre out there. Sadly, the Switch version does take a bit of a hit here in the performance department compared to the other versions out there, but if that doesn't bother you, then feel free to pick this one up at the lowest price it's ever been on Switch. It's $15.99 on the eShop until November 20th. Story of Seasons, Friends of Mineral Town is a good remake, one of the best entries in the series. Featuring a new 3D look, loads of quality of life improvements over the original game, and even some new content to boot. This is a great version, one of the best farm and life sim games ever made. This game, and Rune Factory 4 Special, and of course Stardew Valley, are the three that I consider to be the best in the genre on the system. That's not to say that I didn't have fun with the other games, it's just that these three are so darn good. Anyway, I'm getting a bit off track here. Story of Seasons, Friends of Mineral Town is down to a brand new low price of $9.99 via the latest sale. And that is a steal in my view. I can't recommend this one enough. I played it to death earlier this year when I finally got to play it, and I loved it from start to finish. Story of Seasons, Pioneers of Town was the first original Story of Seasons game for the Switch, one that is not a remake, and in this one, they decided to shake up the formula quite a bit. Gone are the traditional farms, instead you get a creative farm out of the nearby forest. Also, this game has a lot of crafting. It's a huge aspect of the game now. Players must gather materials in order to repair farm equipment found in the woods around them, but also to create new stuff for the farm, and to assist the villagers of the nearby town with their requests, and to help to make the town a tourist destination. Story of Seasons, Pioneers of Town is on sale for a new low price of $13.99 via the early Black Friday sale. Freedom Planet was originally designed as a Sonic the Hedgehog fan game, but the developer thought they didn't just want to make a fan game, and they decided to transform the project into something much more as its own original experience. While it's still very much influenced by the 2D Sonic games, Freedom Planet stands on its own, providing a lot of fun and creative twists on the classic gameplay, while also highlighting what made those early Sonic games so much fun. On top of the excellent gameplay, this game has some really nice pixel graphics and some great music too. It's on sale for just $4.49 via the latest sale. The long-awaited sequel, Freedom Planet 2, arrived earlier this year with an even bigger adventure and more content than the first game. New gameplay features such as guarding and the ability to parry attacks is welcomed, and the options for players to customize the game to suit their style is plentiful. Just like the first one, this was a pretty well-received game too. If you've been eyeing this one, but are waiting for a decent discount, then the early Black Friday sale is just for you. It's down to $14.99. That sale marks a brand new low price for it on the North American eShop.